The message from the Labour front bench, from the Tory front bench, and from the Lib Dem front bench is broadly similar. The private sector will deliver. NATO will deliver. We will spend more on weapons, and we are prepared to go to war anywhere. And we will backpedal on the way in which we stand up to the far right. We will concede ground to the far right and give in to the Farage arguments, the fallacious, dangerous, racist Farage arguments in attacking asylum seekers and refugees. And nothing convinces me more of the need for a real political alternative, community strength, community-based, community accountable in this country than listening to that nonsense from those three front benches. That's why we need yourparty.uk.
Why are you here today? I've been supportive of the left all my life, and I've been intrigued by the start of your party. We have local contacts with the Hastings Peoples Party that's being started up. And I've heard a lot about Jeremy Corbyn, but I've never had the chance to hear the man speak. And I wanted to come along this evening and see what he had to say and how he was going to put himself across, and see whether that can help spark something, perhaps. We'll see.
I'm interested to hear about a new party. I feel that our current parties aren't doing what's quite right for us, so it's always good to hear about potential change.
I know, we know a lot of people who want to support it, but not a lot of them came, so I guess we can kind of go back and tell them what everything's about.
Do you think you might join?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
The far right represents such a serious threat, and we've got to get together and push them back.
I am curious. I'm absolutely for the cause. I think we need to take back the power instead of giving it away.
Well, I hope it's the totally different, a new kind of party coming into the UK, new ideas, new young people, and to get a socialist government.
First up is Andrea Cowhig, who I first met when I was a councillor in Hollington, and we were door knocking around a campaign on damp and mould, and Andrea's house was riddled with damp and mould.
We started our own tenancy association. This way we could have our own independent voice that hadn't been cherry-picked by them to sit on a board. They agreed with us starting our own tenancy association. Councillors were there and at our launch, and they said that that was fine, that they would give us a grant of £250 a year, and they agreed that they would use, we could use their hub. However, a couple of months down the line, we invited a damp and mould specialist that they have along to one of our monthly meetings, and he was more than happy to attend. We received an email back, a scripted email, saying that they no longer recognise us.
Next up, we have a Conquest Hospital nurse. She is an environmental campaigner as well, an active member of the RCN. And she is heading up campaigns, taking action to improve terms and conditions for nurses and also to protect the NHS.
I've worked as a nurse in the NHS for 20 years now, and I'm in a senior position now, and I should be living comfortably, but I'm not. Like most of us here today, I am struggling to make ends meet. Unfair rent increases, huge utility bills, and to what end? To line the pockets of greedy landlords and insatiable shareholders, while the elite sit in their ivory towers, avoiding tax and laughing at the division they have caused within our communities.
Politics isn't just about the one-way message. It is about the accountability to the community. And if as an elected representative you ever forget where you've come from, then you're not much use as a representative if you don't know why you're there and where you've come from. And the levels of poverty are played out on high streets, railway stations, bus stations, every day, every night, all across this country. Every child matters. Every child should be treated equally. The two-child benefit cap should go, and it should have gone in July last year. But what I'm really angry about is, why didn't the government end no-fault eviction last July, because thousands and thousands of tenants have been evicted since last July, knowing that no-fault eviction will become illegal next month. Many people have lost their homes as a result of it. What is wrong with our society that we've disappeared from the idea of housing as a right and turned it entirely into housing as a form of profit for the private sector rather than a requirement and a function for the public sector to ensure that everyone in our community is decently housed? Surely that's something we could all aspire to. Like everyone in this room, I'm a child of the NHS. I believe in the NHS. I'm proud of the NHS, and I obviously use the NHS. A health service free at the point of need for everybody is a fundamental and very important human right, and it's something that I'm very, very proud of that we have in our society. We could instead say, well, if all this spare capacity in the healthcare system in Britain owned by the private sector, and they're not using it, take it over and bring it into the NHS. And that would again save us a great deal of money. We've got the worst water quality, the worst pollution, and it's getting worse, and the quality of the seawater is so bad, half of our beaches are unusable already. Are you content to pour sewage into the sea in order to pour money into the profits of the shareholders of the water companies? The secondary education system has become over-competitive, over-streamed, and our students over-tested, and the way in which our post-school students are often devoid of the qualifications they want and need, and all of them forced into horrendous levels of debt just because they wanted to go to uni and get a degree in order to make a contribution to the rest of our society. The biggest battle I had with the bureaucracy of the Labour Party was setting up community organisers. They absolutely hated the idea that we would be paying people to organise the Labour Party in the community. And somebody said to me, well, that might mean they'd be complaining about what Labour councils do. I said, well, look, however good a Labour council is, it ain't perfect. None of us are perfect. Democracy works on opposites getting a voice in order to make the people in power do what the people want rather than what the powerful vested interests want. It's real democracy. That's why I'm utterly determined to bring in community organisers. We're here to bring about political change by empowering the grassroots to influence what goes on in local government as well as national government, and that has to be a priority. I'm horrified at the routine abuse that's made of trans people and the routine abuse that happens in the media all the time. I want us to just say quite simply, trans rights are human rights, just like any other right in our society. I'm hoping that one of the first actions we will do as your party, when we are formally established at the Liverpool conference, is to set up our own commission on the poverty of people with disabilities, made up of our members and supporters who are in receipt of PIP themselves. Tell us what they want, tell us what they think. I'm very excited about what we can all achieve together here. Hastings is a place of great history. You have a fantastic record of community cohesion and organisation and welcoming and supporting desperate people coming across the channel trying to find a place of safety. You haven't given in to the nastiness of reform and the far right in our society that scapegoats the victims of war rather than challenging the causes of war. What you've done is an example to all of us all over the country. And I look forward to working with HastingsYourParty.uk, Hastings winning control, and Hastings Independents winning control of the council. Thank you very much, Hastings.